Hey, we are back with Eric Davis from Davis Tool Systems, and we're going to start showing you the Tango 360 with the strap sander. I bet a lot of you have seen this video online. It's gone viral. You know, Eric on video sanding this with the system. So let me get him. He's going to explain what's going on with this part of the system.
All right. So yes, once again, thanks. This is our strap sander. It's one of 4 that we're doing. They can be made thinner, thicker, longer, all different shapes and sizes. It's these buckles that really are the key in connection and getting things ready. So this example of this baluster that we have here, this right here is 180 grit Norton sandpaper, and this is closed face, okay? So normally with a closed face, what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna make the arc already, just like that, and then you can see that I could do this just by hand, just like you saw on all of the other videos, or I can do it with the power tool, and that's what we're going to do. This is the damping handle. Yep. So the vocabulary you need to understand is crenulations, 2 annular grooves, damping handle, thing like that.
Big words, yeah.
And then you need to be able to see that the sleeve has a connection right here where we allow it to insert. So I'm going all the way in, and the spherical bearing on the inside allows it to receive the strokes from the reciprocation, oscillations, and of course rotations simultaneously. So now that we've got it connected to the damping handle, I want to show that we don't need the wheelbase connected. That's for applying pressure in a different circumstance. So now I'm going to
makes the tool a little smaller too, which is good for tight.
It gets through the banisters easier.
Yep.
So again, here we are going to connect this, and in order to get this on, I think this is important here, is we have a very rigid connection here with 2 Allen key bolts right here that really hold this all in one space. 4 rivets around the strap and sewn in with some heavy stuff. So this strap is made to last.
It's durable.
It's a durable strap.
Yeah.
So
before you get going, I wanted to explain though too about the sandpapers. You know, he had put the 180 on, but when we strip stuff and sand it here in the shop, we usually start a little heavier. Sometimes 100 grit, which is a little bit more rare, but we'll start with maybe 150. Right here, he mentioned it's 180. With this tool, you don't need to be as coarse because it's doing the work for you. When you're doing it by hand, you want to start a little heavier so the sandpaper does the work for you. So I said what we were going to do is we'll do one of these with the 180 and then we'll swap it to the 120 just to show you they both work just as quick. You could probably even go down to a 220 and and it would do just the same. But I said you don't have to start as coarse as you would normally do, doing this by hand. I wanted to point that out too because we were trying that yesterday and it said the 120 cuts it so fast that you could mess up. Like,
you don't want to do that.
Yeah, so it's like, because it eats it up because you have the vibrations causing that. Yeah. So what we'll do is, like I said, we'll show the 180 here on this guy, and then we'll move over to the 120 just to show the difference between the two.
Sure, and just so you can see a little bit here, right here, I'll take a little bit of pencil and I'll come across this right here, okay? So you can see that it is there. So, if you were to just start from anything, you're on the staircase, you're behind it, you'd probably just go right through it like this. And I always start a little bit further away from it, and then I get it up to speed. I like to do it at max speed just because the rear spring right here is the one that's going to do this. And oftentimes I want you to focus on this hand because it's the one that's just applying the tension. This is the one sending the stroke, and this one's just the one that's applying the tension. We're using that spring. So here we go. This is just a quick run, and I'm not even going to go 360 degrees around it like this, okay? That was literally a few seconds, right?
If that, yeah.
and you can see that I've already got it pretty much off. You don't need to be that aggressive with it, okay? And that was trying to just get it like that. And so if I needed to go all the way around, which, these could be any kind of spindles, yes, I could do it. Is it necessary? It just depends on what you're doing and what you need it for. So that was 180 grit right there on this area. And then, of course, one of the things that you do when you're hand sanding a profile like this right here is you're trying to go up and down, but inevitably, this is a turned piece.
Yep.
You need to go back and forth. So whatever comments you want to leave in the section about you're going the wrong way,
Yep.
go ahead. Aaron, how many times do you have to go back and forth like this?
You do, and it's all in the sandpaper you use. So that being said, with the 120, you're going to have to work your way up even higher with the 180, 220, 320. We said we were playing with it yesterday, and now you get that out, and even when you put a little acetone or something on that to show it, there are no scratch marks.
Yes.
So we see that a lot of times on furniture that come from the factory. They'll have mill marks still on it that Ivan and I remove, we sand out, and it said because they were going the opposite way on spindles.
Sure.
Thing. They're sanding this on a lathe that's spinning, and they're doing the same thing that we're doing here.
Yes.
But instead of having a spinning lathe, now we have a reciprocal tool that's doing the same motions of the sanding. Yeah. So it's.
Yeah, and I think there's another thing to really be concentrating on is if Aaron was going to be using a remover across this, the chemical removers, the strippers, and all of these things right there, that's perfectly fine. You can do that. But that step, it's not saying that it's unnecessary. It's just that if you didn't want to use stripper and you just wanted to use this, you could use a high grit, and I'm going to show it with the 120, and we could just take it down.
Yeah, somebody painted it white.
Yeah, somebody paints it white, and you're like, I'm going to use 80 grit. I'm getting that off. I don't want to play the game. Yeah. And also, I'm going to have Ivan show it close up. You're going to notice the difference between rotational tools and reciprocal tools. The dust field that is actually being created here is in this area right here. And you know what happens to that dust? It kind of just falls right down like this. Yep. Go ahead and get that flap wheel out, all of those rotational sanders that you have. You want to flip it around the house and have it up in every corner of the ceiling? By all means, go ahead.
And you could have like your shop vac just set up on the ground near here because most of it's falling down anyways.
Yes.
Yep.
And we are of course doing this in a setting where we need to speak to you. So if we have our PPE, or if we don't have our PPE on, please forgive us. We are asking you to go ahead, make sure you have your PPE on, and be prepared for still. There is dust. We do want to protect you. And we're only doing this for a few seconds just to show. Yeah. So here we go on a profile here. This is fairly simple, okay? And there you have it. I can see that the dust is just coming right in this area. Yeah. It's I'm not trying to breathe it in or anything like anybody else, but you can see.
Does. It smells good though.
Yeah, yeah. I love the smell of
sawdust in the morning. Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, I need to have my general hat with that one. So exactly. So there we have 180. Now I'm just going to immediately take this off, and I'm going to make another point here. If you were to take this and do this, which you really could, that thumb, the one that you use for your phone to try to get it to start, it's not going to work anymore.
We've locked ourselves out of the phones many times. Yeah. Now it's Face ID, but...
So now we're just displacing this. Yeah. So here we are, we're doing this, but guess what? If you're using 180 here, the advantage that the strap has is that I can put 180, 220, 240 right up here on the strip, and I can just start here at 180, then switch to 220, and then go straight into 240. Yep. And if I really had to, I could flip it over just like that and go 320, just keep going up the ladder. Yeah. So a lot of this is, it's customizable that we're talking about.
100%.
So here we are.
Let's try the 120 and show them just the difference between the finer sanding grits and then that heavier 120. I said, you really don't want to go any more than 120 on anything. If you said you go to 80, you're going to start taking off profiles on pieces like this.
Yeah. So here we are, 120 grit sandpaper. This is all loop-backed. This one is a loop-backed mesh sandpaper. Yeah. There's a difference between these, and I'm sure you know these because you are watching this channel because you're a professional and you want this. So, and we want to explain it that way. So I'm going to go a little bit harder. I'm going to pull back a little bit more, and you're going to see how aggressive. If I had to take down paint, I could. Okay.
Yeah.
and of course you could see that dust field that just came. I mean, it was pretty aggressive. And yes, right there you do see those marks where we're cutting across the grain. But guess what? This old piece of oak is going to be just fine once we've made our increasing it up to 220, 240. It'll be fine. You can see that. So there you have it. There's a difference between 180 and 220, and it's basically the question is, what is the difficulty level of your problem? What are you trying to prevent? What are you trying to accomplish? Do you not want to use stripper because you don't want to have the chemicals in the house?
Yeah, I mean,
maybe
if
that's
you're in
it.
the home, you really can't.
Yeah.
I said you're not going to strip a staircase. Maybe you shouldn't.
Yeah,
you know,
maybe you should be careful.
You have a little
with
bit of
that.
sawdust and all that. It's like you don't want to have that. You want fresh air. You want all that. When we strip here, we do it outside or near the front door, so that way all the fumes are released. We don't have to sit in the house doing it.
Exactly.
Like I said, this is definitely a system that could speed up like staircase refinishers. Anyone that works with a dozen spindles. Like maybe if you just have one spindle, it may not be worth it. It may just be better to just sand it by hand. But like I said, if you're working on a house that has 40 or 50 of these and you're sanding all these by hand, it's definitely not what you want to do. I know I don't want to do it.
The cost. Aaron and I, he just did the video, and we see it all the time. If you want to buy a laser and you want to bring it into your home, you've got a laser. How many times are you going to use that laser? And if you're a professional and you're using it, I don't see any reason why Aaron can't have a laser at some point. It might make sense for some of the products that he has. Yeah. But once you're done burning the paint off of this or burning the stain off of this, you're cauterizing all of those pores. And now
it may not take stain the same.
You need it. Yeah, it's not going to take the stain the same way. You get an uneven. Displacement of it. So you might have this. So the recommendation is that you still sand after the laser, even in their videos.
And
they
then
say
if you
the
do
same
that,
thing.
you could still use the Tango 360 system on that, because like I said, you're still going to have to do that. But like I said, you guys seen it? It worked. It's real. It's a beautiful tool. And I said, what we're going to do now, in one of the next videos, we're going to kind of show you how to start doing the inner decorative sections. We have a different attachment that will go to this. Eric's going to explain that. So I said, we'll see you guys in the next video.
Thank you, Gabe.